the evidence we put together is just stunning, and it takes a while to go through it all, like a murder trial. You know, you've got all this evidence, you put it all together, and if you're a jury, you'd say guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And what's happening now is, and one of our consultants predicted this in our summit in South Africa, in Durban, in 2001, that the central banks would start running out of gold about now to keep the price from exploding. And that's what's happening. And the silver situation is even worse. They're holding it down just with derivatives. And that thing, I don't know, silver could probably double in price in a week. I know that sounds bizarre, but after the meltdown we had on Thursday of the stock market, I think people now realize anything can happen in markets, and it's going to be a very exciting time if you're long gold and silver. We can make fortunes.
I'll tell you, I think there are fortunes, I guess I should say, to be made. I think in addition to that, though, when you talk gold and silver, Murph, I think you also got to talk about the companies. I mean, the companies involved in the industry, whether they're exploration companies or whether they are, whatever. I think they're all going to do very well for the foreseeable future.
Yes, and actually, the shares, a lot of the shares haven't done anything in like half a decade. It's bizarre. There's just no interest in general in the gold and silver shares, the smaller ones, exploration companies, some of them as juniors, and they're just going to go nuts, if I'm correct anyway, as gold and silver become the go-to investments, which right now aren't even on the radar screen of gold and silver people, much less the general public. When they go on the radar screen, this tiny market cap sector will be like the Internet was back in the late 1990s, except this move will be for real. I mean, because the prices of gold and silver are going to go bananas, and everyone's going to want to be involved, and we're not there yet. So for anybody listening, it's a great time to do your homework and get into a bunch of these quality junior and exploration companies.
Well, here's an interesting comment, Bill, on that. As I read in your missive yesterday, it is gold was defined. Gold and silver were defined on MSNBC yesterday. Correct me if I'm wrong.
CNBC, yeah.
CNBC, sorry, as the currency of last resort.
Yeah, well, and of course, our camp's been saying this for years, and the gold. This is the most bizarre industry in the world. You've got an organization like the World Gold Council that's been promoting gold as jewelry while we've been in a 10-year bull market. I mean, it's just pathetic. I've never seen an industry so bad as that. And to have these major companies support an organization like that is just silly. Gold is money, and people are realizing now that you want to have some because everything else could default, including foreign debt, our stock market. It's going to be the place to be. And what most people don't know is that there's not that much around anymore, and that's why the prices of both are going to go way, way up.
I would have to agree with you 100%. Comment, if you would, Bill, on the action in the markets this past week. I mean, Gold yesterday on Friday closed up over $1,200, $1,210 on the ask side. As you mentioned, silver was up meaningfully. It was up 73 cents, $18.40. What do you think about all of that?
Well, there's a couple of things. One, for the gold to divorce from the stock market action and liquidation concerns was just because the gold cartel's losing control was just the way it should be. That was great. And then we actually finally broke the 2% rule, in which the gold cartel only allows gold to go up 2% at a time. It was 7 times this year already, and it broke that, which means that the bad guys, the gold cartel, is losing control. And specifically, I would like to cite J.P. Morgan Chase. They are crooks when it comes to trading in the silver market. They're about to get their butts handed to them. There's a Justice Department operation going on right now to expose what they've been doing in silver. And I think the stories are going to come out in the weeks and months ahead to expose what they've done. It's a monster scandal that is going to break in the very near future.
I think that scandal, Bill, is it really has already broken. I think that hasn't broken to the extent that it's that it's going to actually totally explode here.
Well, the general public, there was an article a few weeks ago in the New York Post, but the general public isn't aware of it. Even just Joe Kernan of CNBC was always bashing gold. He's done wrong for a decade in silver. He was talking about the conspiracy theorist nuts and about J.P. Morgan and silver. I mean, they're mocking us. I can't wait to till he gets his on that one, and all the rest of the people that have no idea what they're talking about. They're clueless.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty clueless. There's no question about that. You know, I made a comment on another show that I do on the Business Talk Radio Network when I was talking to a fellow by the name of Lou Rockwell. By the way, very, very interesting guy, head of the Ludwig von Mises Institute. But you know, really, really bright man, very bright man. And I said, Lou, got a question for you. Do you think this represents economically the beginning of the end? And he said, you know, that's a really good possibility. What does Bill Murphy think?
Well, I'm not as smart as he is, and I really don't know. But I think the obvious is coming to the fore, meaning that we're broke. I mean, the standard of living, I think, in the United States and other countries, as we're seeing in Greece, has to go down about 35%. We just can't afford the way we're living, and it's obvious by the government's fiscal problem, the state's problems. Individuals don't have any savings. I got a little reprieve here as they, prop the market up, and then that's starting to fall apart. And I think it's going to get bleak. I wish it weren't the case, but the politicians in this country just don't have the will to do anything to correct any problems. It's all window dressing and what the chicken's coming home to roost, as they say, or something like that.
Well, it's definitely the chicken's coming home to roost. I got to tell you, my friend, I've only said this about 1 million times, and I'm going to say it again, and that is, people can think what they want about our president. People can think what they want about Dr. Bernanke. People can like him. They can hate him. That isn't the issue. The issue is, the indisputable fact is these guys, not just those guys, but a lot of the guys up there in government are very, very bright people. Why would people who are as experienced in the financial world and as bright as they are not realize just how bad things are?
I don't know. All I can say is it's like the Robert Rubin philosophy of push things forward 6 months and just hope things work out for the best. Nothing's getting done, and I think what happened on Thursday into the Dow and the stock market is a precursor of what's going to happen more often than not in over the next year or two.
Okay, there you have it. Bill Murphy, chairman of GATA, proven right to many people's chagrin. Big Al's going to be right back.